Green flag is in the air. We are racing.
3x3.
Almost no trouble. Around goes Alex Hill. On into the outside wall goes Hill. They're wrecking big time out back. We're not going to throw a caution. To the finish. Who gets it at the line? Cody Nagels wins it in Talladega.
Hello everybody, welcome into PGR eSports live with the Coasting Thunder 60 at the World Center of Racing Daytona International Speedway. Joining me always, race control and co-host Matthew Baker. Baker, how you feeling about tonight?
Feeling good, man. I love Daytona, the Xfinity car. Treated me well for Ron Morse Egon Tuesday, so I love watching the racing here for sure. Only one set of tires here. We'll be paying out the halfway winner or halfway leader $100, so splitting this race kind of into two. But we're not going to throw a caution. It's just going to be halfway leader, no caution, and then see if we can race it out. It'll be 300 to first, 225 to second, 175 to third, 125 to fourth, and 100 to fifth.
Well, we saw how great the stage breaks made the racing last week, and we'll talk more about that in just a moment. But before we do, let's look at your starting grid here tonight. Taking the pole, it's going to be the Coke Series driver Malik Ray. Puts down a 50.359. Good lap from him. Cody Nagels for Nightmare Esports on the outside in second. Ken McCullough Jr. back in third. Kyler Wynn in fourth with Michael Triscaro back in fifth. Mark Vondell, 6th with Mike Davenport in 7th. Jason Maines, 8th. John Ellis Jr. in 9th. And Stephen Miles rounding out your top 10. David McGuire starts back in 11th. It's going to be Matt Lee in 12th. Moving on back to row number 7, it's Jeff Merck and Mark Math with Zach Range and J.R. Miller in row number 8. Sean Corbett back in 17th. Andrew Navarro in 18th. John Mullahan 19th. And it's going to be, looks like one of the newer drivers tonight. I believe it was a little bit of a trickier one. I don't want to pronounce it wrong, but is that Matt? I think is it Matt Hutchinson? No, I'm looking a row further back. I'm not sure. Manalsi? I think it's maybe Manalsi Major starting back. Manazzi. All right, well, there you go. Manazzi Major to the outside of Mullahan. That's row 10. Matt Hutchinson, DJ Daniel in row 11. Jared Haynes, Brock Westphal in row 12. Justin Mills, Trevor Osenoff, row 13th. Christopher McCall, Joe Herda, row 14. Cole Larson and Brian Hennings rounding out the top 30. 31st, 32nd will be Jonathan Herbert, Kenneth Stamper, Nathan Rosticle 33rd, Dylan Jones 34th, John Ward 35th with Aubrey Thompson in 36th, Andrew Zotto in 37th, Cameron Rourke 38th, Danny Barnes 39th, Tucker McClellan 40th, and Jimmy Emos rounds out the field tonight. He will start in 41st. Here we go, green flag in the air. We're underway with the Coasting Thunder 60 at Daytona. Cars getting up to speed still for the first time here tonight, about halfway through lap 1 as they race down the Daytona Super Stretch. Into turn 3, it is Malik Ray that pokes a nose out in front. Cody Nagels still rolling strong on his outside in second. Kyler Wynn and Ken McCullough Jr. right now, the two lead pushers. And it's still early in the race, so no need to get too aggressive yet, but what will be time to get aggressive, Baker, is when we hit lap 30, you talked about it at the tip of the broadcast, that $100 bonus, there will not be a caution. But man, you figure you win $100 at that halfway mark, you could wreck the lap after that and still have made plenty what your entry fee was here tonight. So I think we're going to see a lot of guys going for it, as we already are. 3 wide, Matt Lee up top off of 2.
Yeah, definitely, and looking at the fuel strategy, it's going to work out to where some people may try and play for the end of the race, a little bit bigger money, but these guys want to go for that guaranteed money at the stage 30 coming to 31. They don't know how clean of a car they're going to have, and they don't know how this car is going to handle track temps down a little bit, so it's gonna not wear on the tires as much as we would like. I'd like it to be a little bit higher, but what that's going to do, oh man, Malik Ray goes up to the middle, gets a little out of shape, but what that's going to do is offer them to either change tires or not change tires when you come to the stage. When you come to that halfway point or whenever that pit stop is. So you're going to definitely see some strategy played with the tires, and I think it's going to come into a factor here at the end of the race.
That third lane, though, is working right now. I think the middle two, or the bottom rather, and the middle may have started to run out of temps. That's helping them roll up top. But how about this? The 24 of Miles already with a great run, and if it's the Miles that I think it is, I'm not 100% sure. I know Cody Nagels knew a Miles from over in OP. Not sure if that's him or not. The point is, Steven Miles, he came here to race tonight, and so far he has already picked up 8 positions from where he started this race at, and he's got himself up on the front row as Malik Ray dives back down to the bottom. Oh, Kyler went out of shape. Holds on to it. We had a couple others that had to scramble. They're still trying to hold on. John Ellis Jr., Zach Range merged back onto the track with no further incidents. Wow, that was a really close call, and I think that spooked everybody out of 3 wide, and that'll put the 24 in the sucker hole as he's going to go all the way to the back. Nope, looks like he'll find a spot just in front of Mark Vondell. Nicely done there. John Ellis Jr. will jump up as well, but just like that, Baker, we go from 3 wide throughout the entire field back to 2 by 2.
Yeah, absolutely great save by everyone there. Looked like a little bit of neck code. No damage. One blinking there on the bottom. Really out of shape. Yeah, we'll send him to the back here if he doesn't clear it up. But Andrew Navarro almost involved early. He just got done with his Road to Pro race. He qualifies into the second round. He finished 3rd place in that last race at Charlotte. Was coming to the front. Kenny Brady got the win in the top split. But get around by Navarro and just preaches to the class of field that we have out here every Thursday night. We got guys going for the Pro Series. He was in the Pro Series last year. Wanted to make it into the Coke Series, wasn't able to, but I'm looking for him to maybe make a push for the Coke Series. And we got our Coke Series driver up front right now. Garrett Main's out in Charlotte, not able to make the race, but Malik Ray out here representing the Coke Series well, leading that top lane.
Certainly is, and still 2 by 2 through majority of the field, all the way towards the back, though. We got a little bit of single file action starting to form up with a couple of cars off pace right now. That's Sean Corbett and Christopher McCullough. Due to some sort of issue, they have lost touch with the draft. Going to need a caution, but no guaranteed ones, as you mentioned earlier. Danny Barnes right now, the last car in the lead pack. Justin Mills back there as well. Tucker McClendon, Jimmy Emos, John Ward, Andrew Zonto. Haven't seen Andrew in the field quite some time. Good to see him making a return here tonight. And then Kenneth Stamper, the captain for KSR, he sits in 32nd. Brian Hennings in 31st. Cameron Rourke in 30th with Dylan Jones in 29th. And there's Trevor Oswanoff. Said that, Tuesday Night Thunder, Baker, we see you racing in that series. He said, and he made a pretty bold statement, but I think he may have been right. He made the argument that right now, in terms of the Money Racing Series, in terms of the best racing, it's got to go to Tuesday Night Thunder, and PGR certainly has the potential for that. It's been rough a couple of weeks, but last week wasn't too bad, and if tonight we can keep it clean, might be looking to take that part of the title back, but still overall, the #1 Money Racing Series weekly in iRacing.
Yeah, well, as you see Cody Nagels pop to the top side. Malik thought about blocking, didn't. But you see Kenny McCullough pull up to that middle lane. But, the difference between PGR and the Tuesday Night Series is you're racing for points in the Tuesday Night Series. Yes, money's on the line every week, but overall getting that championship and getting that regular season championship, which is what we're chasing next week, is really what everything. Oh, Malik Ray out of shape. Will he save it? He does. What a save by Malik Ray. Kenneth McCullough drops to the bottom, but like I was saying, Cody Nagels going to drop down in the middle. I think that both series put on excellent racing. It's just a difference here.
Yeah, absolutely. Out of turn number 4. Ooh, Sean Corbett showing maybe he had a little bit of trouble as into turn number 3. 45 is going to get himself back on track out of turn number 4 here. I'm not sure. I think he was by himself. I'm really not sure what happened here to the 45. Oh, no, he was not by himself. This was actually, I guess this was when the pack was going by. So this was the car they were lapping down the back that we noticed. And then, let's see here, as he goes to merge back up. No, it's just that awkward transition. It's very abrupt, Baker. We've talked about that before, and he almost got another guy around with him. Couldn't tell exactly who it was just in front of him, but good save overall by Corbett to keep it in the grass, and no caution. We continue on, and back up front, the 3 wide action. It's going to get fired up again here. This time, though, it's Kyler winning the 82. boy, he was active last week in his return. Ron Morris Jr., or excuse me, J.R. Miller rather, in the 78. Oh, big wreck out back. Brock Westmoreland up in the air, the 4-car. Huge hit for the PGR eSports number 4 machine of Brock Westmoreland. That car is destroyed. As looks like he got tangled up there with, was that like the 82? We got another car here that's going to be coming to a halt. Looks like Cole Larson, he's heavily damaged. Jonathan Herbert, he's going to immediately tow it to the pits, as did Westmoreland and Larson. Wow. I mean, right side of the camera view, that was a huge hit. Not sure what could have got that car that out of shape that quickly, but that was not the start these guys were looking for. Now, the good news, at least from what the flyer was showing here tonight, is that they do actually have a fast repair, which I know we haven't seen a couple times, maybe in recent months, but last week and here tonight, again, do have that fast repair. So besides the tow bill, these guys' race, it's not over just yet, but certainly going to hinder their chances. All right, here we go. Backing it up to see exactly how this one gets sparked. Looks like it does indeed start with the 87 of Jonathan Herbert and Brock Westmoreland. And if we go to the chopper view, I think the 87's coming down here. See Brock on the inside. Well, the four may have slightly, just ever so slightly been coming off the yellow. But overall, there the trend is the 87 coming down, I think. And
yeah, it looks
it's
like the
just tight
87
racing.
comes from the middle straight down end them, and in the tri-oval in the Xfinity car, it doesn't matter what type of temp it is. It's really hard to control a car when someone gets into your right rear or your left rear. Just unfortunate for Brock, right into the wall.
And I can't get over the hit he took. I mean, that car bounced up in the air. It looked like he got a boost of speed almost to be able to get that high in the air. But show you from a couple more angles here. This is the straight-on view. This might show you. There's the 87 just slightly creeping down. And, maybe going for a side draft, or potentially, and what I'm thinking here, Baker, is maybe trying to squeeze into that gap just in front of Mark Vondel behind Brock Westmoreland. And it's really easy to misjudge it. I think a lot of people maybe, I don't know if the word is take it for granted, or just maybe don't realize how hard it is sometimes to tell in the virtual cockpit how close things are. And in fact, we'll hop on the cockpit here, the 87 here, Jonathan Herbert, and watch how close this looks when you play it even in slow motion. That A-pillar kind of blocking him there. And yeah, I mean, it from the cockpit view, it pretty much looks clear, but just that split second longer, you got to wait. And man, what a crazy ride that was for Brock Westmoreland.
Definitely a crazy ride. Well, this pit stop is going to push them good to the end of that halfway, so you're going to see some really, really tough racing here.
Certainly will. And just getting one more angle of this here, because I wanted to see how Cole Larson sustained all of his damage, as we didn't see him in that initial shot, but I think you're going to see him here, as there's the 4, the 82 has nowhere to go, and then Cole Larson here, looks like he's going to miss it initially as he spins down to the inside, and does he spin back to the outside? Nope. Tries to save it. Oh, man. Oh, he hits the conker. That's another huge hit for Cole Larson, as he was ultimately kind of involved in that wreck simply by avoiding the main wreck. Certainly a byproduct of when you see a big accident here at a track like Daytona. But as we do go back up front, talked about pit stops, and the way everything shakes back out is going to be, looks like Kevin McCullough Jr. or Kyler Wynn being scored as your leader, with the other being in second. Cody Nagels back in third. J.R. Miller fourth. Michael Triscaro in fifth. And then Matt Lee back in sixth. Well, Baker, 20 laps on fuel is about the distance we expect here at 50%. So, if you're looking at strategy right now, for anybody that, obviously pit here, what are you thinking in terms of, obviously you can, I would assume, make it to the stage break now, so you're going for the $30, and then do you have to, I guess, pit, the lap right after?
Yeah, remember, it's not a stage, it's just going to be a halfway, so it's just going to be whoever's there, 30 coming to 31. So I think you're going to see probably top 20 go for it. People that don't think that they're going to have a chance, maybe you see them short pit. I think they come with, 10 laps into the run, and then they'll have one more stop after that, full all the way, and then try and offset the strategy, see if they can gain time on these guys up front that are battling hard,
I think that's probably pretty much exactly how it's going to go. Good call on that one. By the way, if you're just tuning in, we appreciate you being here as we look to the chat here just briefly. Devin Ray, Heath Job, Donalda Adams, good to see you all in here. Baker's mom as well. Bubba Winningham And it looks like, in reference earlier to Stephen Miles, Devin Ray Bubba Winningham saying that is him. And that would make sense. I've heard a lot of great things about Stephen Miles, and so far tonight, all of them are looking pretty true. By the way, though, he is back in 14th now, so he's got some work to do. But he's got some great drivers around him to go to the front with. John Mullahan, Mike Davenport, Zach Range. Even just a couple spots behind here, you got Mark Math, Joe Herta, and then DJ Daniel. Not sure if this is his first start or if it's been a while. Can't remember. I'm thinking this might be the first start for DJ, the driver out of Bassett, Virginia. And so far, he's up a handful of spots from where he started this race at. Meanwhile, towards the back, some of the surprising guys that you got towards the back right now, Jason Maines, Dylan Jones. You know they're going to be making their way to the front, just a matter of time. And by the way, with that last caution, it was a big break for Sean Corbett. And then, of course, Christopher McCullough, who needed that caution to get caught back up the field before losing a lap or any more than a lap. So now that they've got that group back up and ready to get back to racing. So when we do take the green flag right here, that halfway, and I keep saying break, but again, it's not a break as Baker said. It's at lap 30. And by the way, Baker, is it at lap 30 or at the end of lap 30 that the winner?
The completion of 30, so 30 coming to 31.
All right, so there you go. At the end of lap 30, whoever's leading that lap, that'll be the man that gets an extra $100 here tonight. And so that's going to be, as we go green right here,
Green flag, green flag.
looks like exactly 18 laps to go till the halfway point. Kyler Wynn, not with a great restart himself and not going to get any help either. The inside, meanwhile, is rolling about 4 cars back as now Malik Ray's going to jump up to lend some supports to the factory setups Camaro. Oh, Triscaro bumped the apron, got himself up the track a little bit. Another close call, but a good save to hold on to it as they get up to speed, and they will enter the Daytona Super Stretch side by side.
Sorry, doing a little bit of race control, but talking about this restart here, there's a big stack up here on the top, and people just asking if they can go up 3 wide. They can, it just has to give the positions up with what makes sense.
Absolutely, and going to be coming to lap 14 this time around. And we got some driver cams here tonight that we'll be taking a look at. We'll look at those in just a moment. But right now, here comes the third lane. It's Matt Lee rolling up top with Zach Range and John Mullahan. Mullahan, though, didn't like what he sees, so he will fade back to the middle. Now, I feel like it's been a little while, Baker, since we've really had the chance to kind of talk about the way the draft model plays out in these cars. And the Xfinity cars, of course, much different than what we see in the trucks. Some guys like them more, some guys like them less, but, you know, the Coasting Thunder 60, we're in the Xfinity cars. What about this makes it different from the other series?
You know, I think that the Xfinity car really is all about how close you can stay to that back bumper. It's not really how hard you can push, because you can lift the rear tires off these cars, and they're pointed pretty steadily on the nose. As you see Cody Blink, Malik go up to that third line. But what it offers is who can manage their temps better, especially in this hot air tent with high humidity. You're going to see people really managing their temps, and you're going to see who is the best pusher for sure. And you're seeing 3 of the best right here. Kyler Wynn, Michael Triscaro, Matt Lee pushing. Matt Lee with the advantage on the top. He's going to try and clear Malik Ray, but that will not happen.
It won't, but man, I'll tell you what, when you were just talking, Baker, we saw J.R. Miller with a really, really big moment down the short chute into turn 1 that last lap, or this lap rather. Phenomenal save, but man, this can't go on much longer. They're 3 wide, and they are all over the place. There goes one. It's Michael Triscaro as he darts back up on the track trying to save it. Comes back up again, and he's going to hold on. What a phenomenal job by Davenport and a couple others to check up to allow their PGR eSports teammate to save that car. Stephen Miles will now jump down to fill the void in front. And that has broken up the momentum a little bit now on that outside lane. Cody Nagel surges out front. Ken McCullough Jr. trying to get clear in front of Malik Ray, but it's not going to happen. And so he'll stay tucked down for now. Lee now all by himself. He's going to fade to the back. 2 by 2 though here. Which lane's got the momentum? Looks like it's the outside. Malik Ray will draw back even into 3.
2 by 2, just Ellis out back up to the top 3 wide. Big check up there in the middle, trying to let Matt in. You see Ward probably drop down. Triscaro, who just made that huge save, goes back up to that top line, trying to get his run back. Jeff Burke down on the apron. He's got a brand new paint scheme for Memorial Day. He's got the beautiful Salute to the Navy gold paint scheme. Really sticks out on track, and hoping to see it close to victory lane, if not in victory lane. I'm pulling for my two boys, Michael Triscaro and Jeff Merck tonight.
Now looking back here with that big save that we saw in that close moment, looks like it separated the packs again here a little bit. In fact, a lot of single file cars here that are trying to all train up and catch up to the leaders here. I don't know if they're going to be able to. We'll have to keep an eye on it, but I mean, there's some big hitters in these single file groups that are all trying to catch up to the back bumper here. It looks like Matt Hutchinson, Cameron Rourke, and maybe even, nope, Jared Haynes is actually, I think, in the second group. Yeah, so they're all trying to catch up to the back bumper of Matt Hutchinson, who is currently the last car in this lead pack. Up front, though, back to 3x3 racing. Ken McCullough Jr. on the bottom. Cody Nagels leading in the middle. And J.R. Miller with the nose, trying to get a nose out in front, at least up top. He's got a teammate, two of them actually behind him. And that is in the form of Michael Triscaro and Mike Davenport, the 96, getting up and in on the action as well. That is DJ Daniel. He's rocking the third lane. And those four cars with a strong push down the super stretch. Almost enough to get clear. Oh, now J.R. Miller starts to wiggle. You talked about Baker staying as close as you can to that guy in front of you. That's the key in the turns. You can push if you've got the chemistry, but even if you can just stay really close, you can hold even with a tandem through the corner.
You know, that bottom line flying right now. I really... Oh! Cody Nagels gets tagged. Just attacked by John Mellahan. Makes a good save there. But like I was saying, I don't know. I see tire wear right now. These guys don't understand. They're going to have to save some tire if they're not changing tire. This setup just isn't conducive for the right rear and the left rear. The rears are going to go, and you're seeing them slipping and sliding. And the front nose weight, the cross weight on this car is absolutely horrific in the fixed setup. So you're going to see them bottom out. You can see sparks fly in this fourth car in line whenever they enter the corner. This car is in the track big time, and when you don't have rears, once it gets in the track, it's going to be all over the place, and it's going to snap loose right around, and it won't have any moment's notice. It's going to be hard to push once you get down to the end of this race.
Well, how exactly would you go about saving tire? I think that'd be the general question for most of the audience when you're at a super speedway. And I mean, I don't know how you do it, Baker, but I think the best thing that I can do here at a track like this is, you know, easing the car into the corner, trying to get it set a little bit more instead of course, yanking the wheel once you're in the corner. And then, of course, obviously, the less aggressive or the less maybe jerky wheel movements that you have to make in the corner, the better. But it's hard to do, especially if you're in the middle of this pack and trying to stay up front. Now, if you decide to stay towards the back, it's a little bit easier, but we've seen it before. You get deep into this run, guys don't realize how bad that tire wear has gotten. They make an aggressive move of the wheel, and all of a sudden the car gets out of shape. They can't save it. But a lot of fishtailing going on right now, as this will be the complete lap 21. And that puts us at officially 10 laps to go here towards the break. $100 on the line. Again, no caution. And with the way the fuel's setting up, Baker, you said guys could pit early, but I think the guys that run it all the way out to, of course, go for that $100 bonus would have to pit the lap after or maybe one more if they've been saving.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was doing a little race control, missed what you were saying, but tend to go in this until we're halfway here. It's picking up. You're seeing 6 rows deep of 3 wide action, and to get on your point of saving tires, I think Kyler Wynn is doing the best job. Malik Ray up to the third lane. He is really, really, really doing a great job saving his tires third in line. These guys are holding it together. I just cannot believe the racing that's going on here.
Boy, it's really, really getting tight. And that's interesting that you said Kyler you think saving the best, because he's stuck in the middle right now. That is certainly not the least stretchful lane to be in when you're 3x3 here at Daytona, which, by the way, is a little bit narrower than Talladega Superspeedway, so these guys don't have quite as much elbow room to work with. Nonetheless, though, Cody Nagels, look at the push that he's given here to Malik Ray to try to keep him even, and they actually tandem away a little bit there from the rest of the third lane, but J.R. Miller will start to close it back in, as will Michael Triscaro through 3 and 4, and that will allow Ken McCullough Jr., Jeff Merck on the bottom to surge as that line gets grouped back up. Zach Range, John Mullahan running running solid right now on the bottom with the 24 of Stephen Miles in good position as well. The 92 of Ward is there. You said it, 3x3 closing in still on the halfway leader here, and I think each lap is going to get more and more intense, and I wouldn't be surprised if we get a caution before we make it to that point.
I mean, just you've seen Cody Nagel shuffle to the third line, didn't work. You saw Malik Ray shuffle to the third line, didn't work. These guys are doing a great job of as they see him go by a slow car here on the apron, had to talk to him, make sure he got out of the way. Great job with Corbett there. But I'm just seeing this bottom lane working better because I think they're putting less wheel into it there on the bottom. They're using the banking more to their advantage. They're not having to worry about going down lower to that middle line. All they got to do is worry about hugging that yellow line, and it's saving their tires because they have more of a steady input.
Yeah, and sometimes as these races go on too, though, the longer you're stuck on the inside line, or excuse me, the longer you're stuck on the outside, you're wearing a little bit more tire the way you just noted it. But then if the same time, if you're on the inside, it seems like the momentum transitions to the outside as the run goes on. May not be the case here, though, with that cooler track temp tonight. Malik Ray now out in front as he got clear of Ken McCullough Jr. So there you go, Baker. It is doable, but it's really tricky, and it was only one car by just that small of a margin there over Ken McCullough Jr. Malik, though, really aggressive here on the lane work, and he's got to be careful. You start making too many of those moves, the lanes get stacked up. That's how we could see a wreck, but doing a great job. Welcome back to Daytona International Speedway. 29 laps complete. You're going to be coming to 30 this time, and that means it will be a one-lap shootout to decide who will be the halfway leader and grab the $100. Green flag back in the air at Daytona. It's a good restart for Jeff Merck. Kyler Wynn on the outside with Steven Miles. There goes Cody Nagels. They're going to be fanning out 3 wide probably by the time they get to the backstretch right here, as they just don't have time. Again, it takes about a lap to get up to speed. So Baker, one-lap shootout. What's the move here?
Where Cody Nagels got up from that second line. It's going to bail all the momentum from that top line out. You're going to see Steven Miles give a big push to Cody Nagels. To Kyler Wynn. Kyler Wynn is going to get clear to the bottom. Will he put another block on that top line, or will he have a chance? Jeff Merck trying to give a push to the back bumper of Kyler Wynn. Who is going to get it here coming out of turn 4?
Oh, man, it's side by side right now. Here we go. Coming out of turn number 4, 2x2. Oh, Kyler looks up the track, trying to get a side draft. Nothing doing. Look at this. Cody Nagels is going to push Steven Miles. He will get the halfway leader bonus. $100 to the 24. And now it'll be house money the rest of the way. Nagels still up top with help from Mark Math as the 24 got clear. He now jumps down to the bottom of the racetrack. Kyler Wynn, the lead pusher with nowhere to go up top. Christopher McCullough all by himself in the third lane. And initially, Baker, if this thing would have stayed green, we were expecting pit stops right about now, but they should be able to go pretty far from here. So I would think only, one more pit stop?
Sorry, talking about Cody's new teammate, Steven Miles, and how he got the stage wins to everyone there. And just really excited to see a new driver up front here, working well with Cody. I know him and Dale Cup had a separation, and they got that Nightmare Esports number, 41 rolling here.
They certainly do. Nagels and his teammates side by side. Oh, it's Mark Math looking 3 wide. That's not a good idea, and that's exactly what's going to happen. He'll get split. I'll tell you what, it's something that you just kind of learn, and maybe Mark wanted to go to the back, but if you are in one of the first 3 rows, you don't jump out at this time of the race. You're just not really going to get the help. Now, Christopher McCullough will get there, so it'll be 2 cars for now, but I just don't think that's going to really go anywhere. As in the chat, Devin Ray says, can we see the wreck? Actually, you can. I don't think you can, Devin, and I can't either because my internet completely went down, so everything froze up. And I'm checking here. Yeah, no. So apologize for that, but what can you do?
We're going to see some people pitting here for sure, I think. It's going to be a couple that are going to get ready for these fuel stops. You see Malik, Jeff Merck, and Kyler Wynn all on the bottom there on that strategy. So is Cody and Steven Miles.
And so if they go with that strategy, then that'll leave a lot of the solo guys in the field to have to make a decision who they want to go with or if they want to try to make a strategy of their own. And man, oh man, it's been a lot of great racing so far. In fact, Baker, we may not have got to see it, but we were kind of briefly talking about what was that caution as we were trying to boot back up. So what exactly happened that did bring out that caution just for the halfway mark?
Oh, sorry, I cut you off. Here goes Jeff Merck. He's going to dive down to pit lane with one other car. Looks like Hutchinson going down with Jeff Merck. No one else following him. I think you're going to see Malik, Kyler, and Cody maybe coming this next time. Jimmy must coming off. Oh, man, we're full wide towards the back. This is just really, really crazy spacing going on towards the midfield, towards the back.
Certainly is, and I mean, no, it's getting separated now. Really getting separated is that second group. I'm not sure what's going on. It's like they're trying to decide who wants to run where. Is somebody slow? I can't tell exactly what's going on, but this back group is really having a hard time here. I mean, they're 3 wide. They've already lost the draft. I don't know what's going on back here, Baker. Does somebody have an issue?
Who are we talking about?
I mean, we're looking to the back here, and everybody's slow here. I'm not sure what's going on. The back group, they were checking up.
Yeah, all 3 wide, too.
The 96, that's who it is. DJ Daniel, who was way off. He's still off the pace here. I don't know what the deal is. Look at him. He's just losing pace here. I don't know if that car's got an issue mechanically or if he's just... I'm not sure here, but we saw him towards the front earlier, and this is not how he wants to be running, though. Pit stops are underway as they get completed the first round. That is Kyler Wynn, Malik Ray, Cody Nagels, Steven Miles, Mark Math, and looks like Jeff Merck still out with Matt Hutchinson.
Looks like Merck and Hutchinson are coming off of the pit exit right now. They're going to try and meet up with these guys coming off the apron. May merge up with them, may not. Them staying out for one more lap in the draft is probably going to pay dividends. That's 4 cars off pit road with very, very good speed.
Certainly is, and watching to see here if Merck and Hutchinson can tag on. Ooh, it's going to be close. 4 seconds behind, closing fast, but I don't know if it's going to be fast enough. Here we go off turn 4. Any more pit stops? Or excuse me, down the back. I meant to say when we come off turn 4, are we going to see any more pit stops here? 25 laps to go exactly here, the World Center of Racing. So about a handful over halfway now. You got Danny Barnes getting pushed by Christopher McCullough. There's the 199 of Mark Math on the apron. And as they do work their way off of 4, doesn't look like we'll get any more takers. So everybody stays out yet again. And they still continue to stay 2 by 2. Usually the uniform signal, if you will, that pit stops are getting ready to happen is you see a lot of guys get single file on that inside line right around the double yellow. But not right now, so not sure if they're just going to keep running this out. I mean, again, Baker, with when we had the caution, when do you expect these guys to be able to go to? Like, how far in terms of lap-wise can they go?
Yeah, so I think 28, they wrecked about 28 to 29, so I think that they can go to about lap 50.
All right, so if they can make it to about lap 50, that'd be about 10 to go. And so we'll have ourselves a nice little 10-lap shootout all the way to the finish. That would mean they can make about 14 more laps or so on this tank of fuel. So right now, Davenport leads on the inside. Matt Lee leads on the outside. You've got John Ellis Jr., who, by the way, is making pretty good progress up a handful of spots. But it's Jared Haynes, actually, who is the biggest mover, at least inside the top 5 at the moment. He is up 20 positions from where he started this race at. In fact, we hop in the cockpit for just a moment, or earlier at least. Jared Haynes, yep, sure enough, he's carrying an onboard camera for us here tonight. You see Jared's got, looks like the 5-point harness set up there as well with the sim rig. Doing a really nice job here. He looks nice and smooth with the wheel, and that's what you got to do when you're the lead pusher. If you're very kind of jittery with the wheel, you're not going to be able to push that car in front of you as smooth as anybody else, and that's how you can drag your line down and go further towards the back. But if you're a good, smooth pusher, you're going to have a lot of guys that want to work with you at the end, whether it's pushing you or taking the pushes from you. And right now, Matt Lee seems to be very, very comfortable with Jared Haynes pushing behind him.
See Luke Ray and Kyler Wynn, they are trying to cycle temps to try and stay ahead of these leaders coming towards them. Jeff Merck and Hutchinson look like they're going to fall to the lead lap cars. This really didn't play in the strategy for anyone else that was going for that stage money that didn't get it. The only one that it's going to pay is that number 24 car and no one else. So it's unfortunate for Cody and all of them, but they're on a different strategy. Maybe they get some chaos up front and they can cycle back up to the front.
Well, if Cody and Steven are teammates, I think that actually was part of the reason Cody was okay with passing. They're kind of the 2-for-1 deal if they're splitting it. And of course, you know, kind of work as one unit, which they did a pretty good job of right there. But yeah, I mean, if we got a caution right now, it would definitely group things together, as we've had a lot of interesting developments here in this race. But so far, it's been a great one, and we're coming to 20 laps to go this next time. Still with the green flag pit stop expected for everybody in this lead draft, and then to see how the strategy is going to play out for those 4 cars that already pit. And we need to start keeping an eye on the times that they're running here, at least for the next couple laps. So there you go. That's Cody Nagels, Stephen Miles, Kyler Wynn, and Malik Ray. Right now they're 2 by 2 here. That might have been by design, and the car that they're focused on catching here, oh, trouble up front, wrecking. One around, it's the 30 of Kenneth Stamper. And that's the exact break they needed as Stamper comes to a halt on the entrance to turn number 1. And so, caution, third one of the night with 20 laps to go, is going to put us a restart. It's going to put us to a restart, rather. Well, we are well inside the fuel window, so everybody will be able to make it after they stop here for fuel. And I don't know if this strategy necessarily helps the guys that already pit.
That definitely doesn't help them, because everyone's got to pit here, and then they're good to the end. So,
and that would answer that question. Well, here we go. In reference to the wreck here, is that, oh, it's close. This one, it almost looks like 2 for 2 for the night here for Jonathan Herbert. Almost a carbon copy of the first wreck, where he came down and just clipped the right rear of Brock Westmoreland. And in this case, does the 87 come down again? He certainly does, Baker. You know, Stamper not really moving if he is. It's just barely, but the 87 just You see here, he's got the right side tires on the seam, at least in that frame, and then go a couple ahead here and drops down about a lane and a half and just tags Kenneth Stamper in that right rear and sends him up the track to 82, nowhere to go. I mean, it's interesting, Baker. It really is almost a carbon copy of that first wreck in every way. Same cause and same guys involved just about, except the exception of Stamper.
I'm listening to DJ Janius talking about the problem that he had. He said his car just lost speed, and I don't know if he had some damage on the nose or on the rear that just ghosted on him, and he completely fell off the pace.
Fell off big time, which is what caused all the stacking up that led to the splitting of the field and everything in between. As we look at a couple more angles here of this wreck that involved the 30 of Kenneth Stamper, he definitely got the worst of it here. I mean, that car was junk. He's going to have to go in and take his fast repairs. Turned into the outside wall about 180 miles an hour before he ultimately comes to a stop down there by turn one. And we'll take one more angle of it here from the zoomed in view. And it's just Herbert just slightly moving down again. Like I said, it doesn't take much in these cars. But that slight contact, Baker said it's just too hard to save with the way the damage model is. And once they made any contact, it immediately hooked that 30. It didn't matter what Stamper was going to do. This car was headed for the wall, and that is where it ended up. 18 laps to go as we go back live. Up front, Matt Liebing scored as your leader. John Ellis Jr. second, John Mulhan in third, Christopher McCullough in fourth, Dylan Jones fifth, Andrew Navarro in sixth with Andrew Zonto in seventh, Zach Grange eighth, Jared Haynes in ninth, and Justin Mills rounding out your top 10.
Man, the guys who had to pit early, this puts them behind the 8 ball, and they got track position to make up in 17 laps. You're going to see some of the most intense racing, 3, possibly 4 wide, which I don't even think is possible here at Daytona, but they can try and make it work with these cars. You're Cody Nagels, Malik Ray, and Kyler Wynn. That is a recipe for disaster towards the midfield.
Whether it's possible or not, we're going to find out. Taking a quick break. We'll go side by side so you don't miss things. Stay with us. We'll be back for the restart at Daytona.
Green flag is in the air. We are racing.
3 by 3.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Daytona International Speedway as we get ready for another restart here in the Coasting Thunder 60. And Matt Lee, John Ellis Jr. ready to get the field back to green. Heavy hitters towards the back. Going to be a fun one to watch. Here we go. Green flag back in the air. 16 laps to go at Daytona.
Well, Matt Lee, he's on a tear right now, winning a bunch of races. Wins the Tuesday Night Thunder race. He's the second driver to have multiple wins on the season for Tuesday Night Thunder. And he's proven why. He is on that tear. He's up here leading this bottom line. One spinning off on the bottom. That's Tucker McClendon. There will be no caution. We'll keep it green here. Bottom line rolling. John Mullihan, and he is clear to the top. He's not going to take it, though. You know, Mullihan, I'll say this about him. You see Matt Lee come up to the middle line, but I'd like to say John Mullihan is one of the best bottom line pushers till it gets to about 3 to go. And he keeps that aggression on, but he knows how to manage those temps. He is very, very good in the Xfinity car about managing his temps on the bottom and is able to keep a car clear and not let that top side clear.
Doesn't have to worry about managing him right now, though, because he has got fresh air out in front with a push from Dylan Jones. Lee's going to get back clear, though. John Ellis Jr. trying at least to get that 04 clear to the bottom, and he will. Matt Lee jumps down low. That'll give some breathing room up top now to the 21 of John Ellis Jr., who's getting pushed by Christopher McCullough. Andrew Navarro there as well with Zach Range and a plethora of other drivers. Wondered who's going to be the first to go up top. Here we go. It's getting formed up, and it looks like we've got a lot of takers. Right now, though, Trevor Osmanoff, the lead car up there. Looks like Brian Hennings as well, and Cody Nagels says, I don't like any of you guys, and he's going to jump right back down to the bottom. They'll both drop to 74. See if Osmanoff goes back up, but that kills any momentum that the third line had going there, at least for a little bit. And now coming to 14 laps to go. Each lap that goes by, again, the aggression, similar to what it did towards the halfway mark, it's just going to continue to pick up more and more. Ooh, big stack up towards the back.
Now, Cody Nagels is not making friends. He's pushing up the line, bailing out, pushing up the line, bailing out. I'm just waiting for him to go to the third line and for him to get hung out. He's just not making any friends coming up to the front. He got to his friend, though. He got to Steven. Zach Range goes to the top. He's got J.R. Miller. Now you're going to see this third line really, really form up.
And the more cars, the better. John Ellis Jr., Matt Lee still working together. Ooh, Ellis is going to give him a push through the corner. That's kind of that fine line that we talked about where some guys can do it, some guys can't. But if you try to push in the corner, boy, you have got to be really, really careful in doing it. Range up top, though, with J.R. Miller. Looks like they've got a couple of others joining in on the fight, but not enough yet, at least, to make any progress towards the front of the field. How about Andrew Zonto in 7th? But this is the stat that's got my attention. He's up 30 positions from where he started this race at, as is Dylan Jones right now, up 30 as well, but he sits in 4th. As lead pusher, oh, this is going to be a big one. Wrecking in the middle of the pack they go, and they're all going to pile it up here at Daytona on the super stretch. One got turned, and the rest followed. Malik Ray's torn up. Zach Range, he's destroyed. Mike Davenport, he's got some damage. Cameron Rourke. Tucker McClendon, that's the break he needs. Wow, this one tore up a lot of good cars, and now it'll give us a restart within 10 laps to go. Let's go back and break this one down for you here. I'm looking at the guys that collected, and I know we say jokingly a lot, but this genuinely did collect probably almost half the field. Looks like it starts with Zach Range getting turned out of line, and then going to amplify from there. So we'll go to the aerial view here to see if, was it just an offset push, or was there a little more to it here? That's the 78 of J.R. Miller behind.
Justin Mills.
Oh, it is. Yeah, Justin Mills from the middle actually is drifting up, and I don't know if they technically ever touch before there's a little bit of net code, but I think the point is they were going to touch, even if there wouldn't have been that net code. And yeah, that just turns Zach Range right down into Andrew Navarro, and then next on from there here. I'll show you this. I want to go back to TV2 here. Watch 43 here when he gets turned, gets into the 44, and then flaps immediately come up, keep the car on the ground, and then everybody else out back is just scattering to try to miss it. Navarro goes right back up the track, and so it's really nowhere to go. You go high, you go low, you're going to get caught either way. Just got to find a gap and hope that you make it through. Stephen Miles, Danny Barnes, Nagels with heavy damage. And then couldn't tell who that was. It might have been the 96. Yep, sure enough. DJ Daniels piling in right there with nowhere to go. You saw Rourke down by the inside wall. He made heavy contact with the inside safer barrier, it looks like. Or maybe the tire barriers. And then Davenport, Justin Mills as well. And so it started with Mills. Mills, of course, got involved overall, but that one, Baker, it's one of the biggest wrecks we've seen in a while. That collected, again, quite a few cars.
Sorry, I was watching Andrew Navarro with the Carolina squat going down pit road. You got to go look at his car going down the backstretch after he got in the wreck. I mean, unbelievable. His car was, walking completely sideways.
Look at that in just a moment, but as we do go back live, it is 11 laps to go and going to be probably either 9 or 10 when we get the green flag here for the restart. And so let's back this up here and see if we can find Andrew Navarro and the damage that he had sustained after this incident. And there's the 44 right by the wall. I didn't even know that an Xfinity car could get skewed out that much, Baker, even with damage. That is incredible, the amount of skew he had. That thing's almost 90 degrees sideways. I mean, he's laying down tire tracks just... that's gotta... He's got to have clipped that and put it on the highlight reel. I mean, it looks like he's drifting down the straightaway. That's a good one for Andrew Navarro right there. Hey, if you're going to have damage, at least have some fun out of it. And that's a fun one there for sure for Navarro. I've never seen an Xfinity car get damaged quite like that. Hey, it works in the turns. I mean, he's getting more side force, but I mean, not what you want here at Daytona. So there you go, gets it down to pits. So we do go back live. He will be one of the guys that gets all that damage fixed because he did have a fast pair left, but a couple guys may not. And so we're getting to that point in the race where, you know, if you're in another wreck, there's a good chance you were in one earlier because of how many cars we have taken out and some of the wrecks that we did have already tonight. And so it'll be, again, 9 laps to go. And, yep, sure enough, let's make sure we have the 1 to go signal right there. And 2 by 2, they line up. Matt Lee in first, John Mullahan second, John Ellis Jr. in third. Dylan Jones back in fourth, Christopher McCullough fifth, Andrew Zonto sixth, J.R. Miller seventh with Jared Haynes in eighth, John Ward ninth, and Aubrey Thompson rounding out your top 10. Well, Baker, we talked about the big hitters and them having to get back to the front. How'd you feel like they did so far? I mean, I still see Malik Ray back there. And a couple others that actually got damaged, such as Nagels, Stephen Miles, that are now going to have to try to make their way back to the front again.
Yeah, it looked like Cody and Mike got exiting a closed pit, which is unfortunate because not everyone caught up. They came out of the pit road and the pits was already closed, so they got any oil all the way back to the back for them. But yeah, Merck, another big hitter towards the back. Malik, Kyler Wynn, trying to make his way back up, still towards the back. He's at about 16th. Don't look now. John Ellis Jr. He is one of those big dogs that took a big break from money racing. One of my favorite competitors, races very clean, pushes any car that's in front of him. He's going to do the same thing here to Matt Lee. He has multiple wins in PGR, 6 podium finishes, I believe. Very, very good driver.
Don't you just love the drivers that have all the talent and you know that they'll just work with anyone at the same time? Best way to be in. Yeah, certainly good to see John Ellis Jr. back on the scene. Matt Lee on the inside. He's ready to go, and so are we. Pace car make the left turn, and again, it is going to be 9 laps to go here at Daytona. Firing them up for the restart. Green flag is back in the air for Matt Lee, and man, how about the coordination that time for the first 3 rows in both lanes? Looked like almost a perfect stack up that time in the sense of they all helped get their lanes propelled and going. And now further back, everybody shuffling for spots and lines wherever there's an open gap. One already 3 wide. That might be, not sure if that's Hutchinson or somebody else. But still 2 by 2 up front. Lee leading the bottom, but watch this. Mullahan's getting a huge push off of 2. We'll see if he's got the momentum down the super stretch.
Kyler went off the pace. He's towards the apron, pushing all the way down. You see 4 cars out back trying to get tandem up to get back up, get up to that 3rd lane, but Malik Ray bullies his way through the middle. I don't think they know they're 3 wide. Oh man, are they gonna hold on to it? Mark Matt turns around. goes down towards
He
the
saved
apron.
it.
He saves it, comes back up. The guys on the outside would definitely not give Malik any room and push down Mark Math.
What a save. And tell you what, not everybody's going to do it, but there are certain guys where if you leave any sort of gap, that's all they need, and they will take it. Malik Ray, one of those guys, and it's worked out. He's found plenty of success doing that. So you got to make sure that you don't get a little lulled to sleep, if you will, and make sure that you're ready if he tries to make that move to try to cover it. As Vondel shot off below the apron there for just a moment, quickly got back on. John Ward now looks like he's ready to jump out of line as Malik tries to push him. The 92 fades up a little bit now. The 24 of Miles is going to drop back down as they will replace him with the 74 of Brian Hennings. 3x3 towards probably about row 3 on back here for a couple of rows. But up front for the first 3 rows, it is still 2x2. And leading the way for the moment is John Mullihan on the outside, but Matt Lee leading the inside with John Ellis Jr. and Christopher McCullough. And I think John Ellis Jr. knows that with the position he's in. Oh, well, caution's going to go out, so we will hold that thought. As trouble further back with Nagels and a couple others here. Matt Hutchinson, he comes to a halt. Michael Triscaro, he's got damage and is a little bit slow off the pace. So again, not sure exactly what happened right here. So we'll go back to replay and find out exactly what. As was Vondel the first car to get sideways here? Looks like he might have been, and I'm thinking it was something to do here with a checkup. Watch the 59 here at full speed. See the inside, a little bit of a checkup, and then they just didn't get the memo out back. Rourke and Corbett get into each other, and they get into the 59. And that was what ultimately kind of triggered the wreck, and then just snowballed from there. But Vondel certainly got banged around a couple of times. Back here and watch this from a couple of views of his car. And as Vondel tried to save it, that was when he got back up the track, the contact ensued from there. Danny Barnes got collected. Cameron Rourke got pretty good damage. It seemed like he really didn't have anywhere to go. Matt Hutchinson certainly got torn up also. And here is another angle of it. Show you here from TV3 if we can. And so that'll, actually, I think we'll get 2 more views here. First from zoomed in cam is, again, this is the 90 of Hutchinson, and then you'll see Rourke there on the bottom, or I guess technically in the middle now as Vondel slides up, but they're going to try to save it here, and just nothing they can do as the 90 is going to go into the outside wall. And then the 15 shoots down the track. He'll get tagged by Danny Barnes. That's how he'll get some of his damage. Danny Barnes, that is, and then this is the onboard view and exactly what it looked like as 59 of Vondel came back up. And it was a good save overall for Rourke. Certainly could have been a lot worse. But then there's that big hit to the outside wall as he just slightly overcorrected. So I guess that save wasn't quite all the way made, but nonetheless, looks like it's going to be, so it's 5 right now and they don't have the one to go. So Baker, this should be, I believe, a 3-lap shootout to decide a winner here tonight, but we got to make it to the white flag. As of now, though, before we do get ready to go back, we're going to take one more commercial break, but again, we'll go side by side so you don't miss a thing. Stay with us. We'll be right back at Daytona.
green flag is in the air. We are racing.
Three by three.
Almost no trouble. Around goes Alex Hill. Hard into the outside wall goes Hill. They're wrecking big time out back. We're not going to throw a caution. Finish. Who gets it at the line? Cody Nagels wins it in Talladega.
Welcome back to Daytona International Speedway. Get ready for the conclusion of the Coasting Thunder 60. It's one of the last races in quarter two for PGR. As you see some of our drivers being displayed on the driver cams. That's J.R. Miller on the top right. Michael Triscaro was in the top left. And then just got rid of Triscaro. And if we get rid of Miller, that leaves Trevor Osmanoff in the 89 machine. As they get ready for the restart. 3 laps to go. Got to make it to the white flag for the race to be official.
Green, green, green.
Green flag is back in the air. Good restart for both cars on the front row and everybody else out back. But it looks like the outside is going to be the first lane that's able to get linked together as Jones and a 41 of Andrew Zonto are bumper to bumper. Malik Ray as well. He's been able to make his way back up here. And now that he has, the 7 is thinking about 3 wide. The question is, when does he do it? And if I remember from previous experiences, Baker, I think Malik here is going to wait till the last second, try to block the momentum for whatever lane he feels like is working. There he goes. The 7 will jump to the outside. A lot of people diving back to the middle here.
I think I see Malik pull back to the middle. He does. No one really upstairs giving that help. Malik's going to go up. Andrew Santos is going to go up to the top 2. Oh, push down to the middle line. Everyone all over the place. Can they make it 3 laps? I hope so, because this will just tell you who can manage the temps and get to the front. This is going to be crazy. Santo trying to get up. Malik Ray get the side drive if he can. Santo all the way up to the stairs. This guy is on controller. A lot of people, talk a lot of shit about him. Excuse my language, but he is leading this outside line, and he's doing a great job. Andrew Santo leading the outside.
Well, maybe iRacing, but you talked about it. He's got the control, and right now he looks smooth as can be, and he's going to have to hold it that way because Malik's not going to be lifting here for the 41. Baker, I don't know. We got to make it here about another quarter mile or so and make this thing official here at a turn number 4. 3 by 3, Mullahan on the bottom, Lee in the middle, and Andrew Zonto up top. They start to bump and bang, but it won't matter. It's official. White flag in the air. 1 lap to go in Daytona.
1 lap to go. Everyone piles up towards the back. We're 3 by 3, 4 rows deep. Almost 5 rows. Everyone else is gonna wreck. Oh man! John Mullahan's gonna come out scotch-free. He's gonna win this race.
Oh, we got one upside down. John Ward. Oh, he's still getting T-boned. And this may be the biggest walkaway in PGR Series history, as John Mullahan ahead by over 6 seconds. I mean, he's already celebrating here, Baker. I don't think we've seen something quite like this before, but look at this. Mullahan going to take his time through 3 and 4. No draft out front. Nobody even close out back. The second place running car is Aubrey Thompson. Christopher McCullough is destroyed. He's in 3rd, and here he comes into the trioval. John Mullahan from McCullough Motorsports wins it at Daytona. Aubrey Thompson, race between him and Christopher McCullough. Those two going to finish it off. And rounding out the podium in the top 5, Demolition Derby style, as they all try to creep to the line. Look at this, Jimmy Emos. Oh, he gets 6th. Close to a money finish.
Jimmy Emos. Oh, no. So close, Jimmy.
So close indeed. We got one car here, Baker. Look at this on the backstretch. Who is this? Somebody's got no wheel. I didn't even... Oh, my goodness. Who is that? We got... Oh, it's Nathan Roscoe. Look at this. This thing is destroyed. He's got no right front wheel, and he's still driving it around. Wow, I've seen it all here tonight. Well, hey, you got to finish the race sometimes. Do what you got to do. But nonetheless, how about John Mullihan, your winner tonight at Daytona? And what a crazy way to end it with the last lap wreck. Let's go back and look at what ultimately led to the checkered flag moment, as that may have, again, chalked it down as one of the biggest wrecks that we have ever seen here on a last lap in PGR. Is it really did collect every single driver besides the leader here. Mullihan was on the bottom. You see him wrecking big out back to take the white flag. But watch how big they wreck here now that the white flag is out. Oh, they just start to get bottled up. Did it start with Dylan Jones here? It's just a lot of aggressive pushing, I think, at that point. And yeah, looks like, ooh, Malik might actually get down into Dylan Jones there. And that gets Jones into Ward. And then now he's out of shape trying to save it. He'll get down into John Ellis Jr., who gets up into Matt Lee, Andrew Zotto, Malik Ray. And then initially it looks like John Ward might shoot the bottom. But then, nope, he's going to get clipped by Matt Lee as well. That'll send the 92 up the racetrack and into the wall. Malik Ray tries to sneak by again on the outside, has nowhere to go. And then Ward, you see him barrel rolling there as these guys just start piling in as they're just trying to get through the wreck to last lap. You know there's no caution. Keep your foot in it and hope for the best results that you can get. Speaking of results, let's look at the final ones here tonight. John Mullihan, your winner. Aubrey Thompson brings home second. Christopher McCullough in third. Stephen Miles fourth. Jason Maines in fifth. Jimmy Emo sixth. Jared Haynes in seventh. Andrew Zanto in eighth. John Ellis Jr. ninth. And Tuck McClendon rounding out your top 10. Mark Vondell finishes back in 11th. Kyler Wynn 12th. Justin Mills 13th. Matt Hutchinson in 14th. Mike Davenport 15th. John Ward 16th. Matt Lee in 17th. Dylan Jones finishes back in the 18th position. Rounding out the top 20 tonight is Malik Ray and J.R. Miller. Ken McCullough Jr. finishes 21st. Trevor Osnoff in 22nd. Brian Hennings 23rd. Cody Nagels 24th. Jeff Merck back at 25th with Zach Range in 26th. Kenneth Stamper 27th. Mark Math in 28th. Nathan Rosticle 29th. And Danny Barnes rounding out your top 30. David McGuire 31st. Joe Herta 32nd. Brock Westmoreland in 33rd. With Jonathan Herbert 34th. Cole Larson 35th. Cameron Rourke in 36th. Sean Corbett 37th. Michael Triscaro in 38th. Andrew Navarro 39th. DJ Daniel rounding out your top 40. And rounding out the field here tonight, finishing in 41st, is Manatsi Major. All right. So with that, we're going to go see if we can find your top 3 in here for interviews. Stay with us. We'll be right back at Daytona. Welcome back to Daytona International Speedway. Going to start first here tonight with your third place finisher. Matthew Baker stands by with Christopher McCullough.
Hey, Christopher McCullough, it's Matt Nelson in the booth. You got a copy?
I gotcha.
Well, no front end on the car. Still a podium finish for you. You're in a great race after you came back from the lucky dog. Or sorry, you weren't a lucky dog. You were talking about Jimmy going on the high line. But up front there in the top 10 on the last restart. Talk to me through how, one, I know you didn't avoid the wreck, but two, how you got out of the wreck and were able to get this podium finish.
A lot of luck. That's what it was. I seen him wrecking, and I tried to cut it down low and get through the grass and try to sneak through there, but I just had too much speed. So I just got lucky, I guess. I think when I cut low, I had my car turned to the left. So when I got hit, it kind of straightened me up a little bit. Just a lot of luck, but you got to put yourself in these positions to have a chance. So
Definitely put yourself in the position to have a chance. Aubrey Thompson gets by you there on the backstretch just simply because he had a lot less damage than you. But nonetheless, a third place finish. Anyone you want to thank or shout out?
Yeah, I got to thank my team, McCullough Motorsports. I got to thank everybody that runs these races. Tonight was a great race. It was hard racing, and for the net code at Daytona in these cars is usually pretty bad. We've ran some really close three wide racing, so I got to really give props out to all the drivers. And thanks for doing a broadcast here and admin in this league. It's a lot of fun to come to PGR. They're hard as hell to get in the money, that's for sure.
Definitely one of the toughest series to finish in the money. Pro drivers, coke drivers, you name it. Best super speedway racing we've got out here weekly with Ron Morris as well. But thanks for talking to us, Chris. Great third place finish.
Thank you, boys. You have a good night.
You too.
All right, and that will bring us to your second place finisher here on the night. And that is Aubrey Thompson. Matthew Baker stands by with him as well.
Well, Aubrey, this is Austin and Matt up in the booth. You got a copy? Aubrey Thompson, this is Matt and Austin in the booth. You got a copy, buddy? Give him just a second.
So try one more time here, and if we can't get him while we sort it out, we'll talk to your winner.
All right, there it goes.
Hey, Aubrey, Matt and Austin, you got us.
Yeah, I got y'all.
Well, out of the three, you had to work the hardest. I'd say, Christopher just got wrecked and had to get the car back going. You were getting turned sideways all through turns 1 and 2. How were you able to hang on to it and bring home a second place finish?
I don't know, and I still don't know. Didn't even know where I was on the track, to be honest with you. Just trying to get back to the finish line, of course. But it ended up being a good race at the end of the day.
Well, definitely a good race, and like Christopher McCullough was saying, you got to put yourself in positions for when that chaos erupts. Hopefully, you get through it on the better side, and you definitely did that towards the end of the race. You're one of the better drivers out here. Represented BAR well, getting up in that money. That's awesome. Anyone you want to thank or shout out?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to thank my boys over at BAR. I want to thank Ward too for always teaching me new shit. I mean, sorry. My bad.
Oh, you're good.
Sorry, you wouldn't be the first one tonight.
He's a very good teacher, man. He really is. And I really appreciate all y'all guys try to help us out, and I appreciate it, man. I really do.
Well,
And I want to thank y'all for the broadcast, because y'all always do a good job. So
well, we thank you for that, Aubrey. And good to see that pink number 69. I like seeing the number 69 out there on track. Keep that number, and maybe you get some more money spots.
yes, sir, I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, and now that will bring us to our race winner here tonight from McCullough Motorsports. It's John Mullihan. John, this is Austin in the booth. Get a copy.
Copy.
All right, well, there you go. You get the win. Baker was talking good about you earlier on in the race, said how good you were at managing temps and how good of a pusher you were until those last 3 laps. Sometimes you got to be the leader instead of the pusher. Tonight, that's exactly what you were. It paid off in the big last lap wreck. You were ahead of all of it. How'd you put yourself in that position by the end tonight?
Well, I tell you what, man, I had a really good feeling. I think it was like 16 to go, and the caution come out. We were about to take the green flag again. I restarted third, and I looked up, and Chris, my teammate Chris McCullough, starting fourth, and immediately I got the good vibe. He and I had a good run all night up to that point. We were getting down into the final ticks of things, and in the end, it worked out. And I do understand Ward was a little upset there those last few laps. I didn't clear up, but I felt like that was my best opportunity to win this thing. And in the end, it turned out to be the right call. And please make note, when I sent my payment in tonight to Mr. Triscaro, I told him, I said, I'm tonight's race winner. Let him know.
Well, there you go. Called the shot, and it worked out. Well, before we let you head out tonight to go celebrate your winnings, is there anyone you want to thank or shout out?
Oh, man, absolutely, guys. Everybody, first off, you guys up in the booth, Baker and Austin, Triscaro, for putting this show on. Everybody over at McCullough Motorsports, Kenny, Chris, Mark, Dave, Ron, all them boys. My sons, Jackson and Carter, my fiance, Brittany, everybody over at Will Jewelry Loan and Canal Valley Key and Fob, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week.
Sounds good, and we look forward to seeing if you can go back-to-back. Thanks for talking to us.
Take care, guys.
All right, well, that's going to wrap up our coverage here tonight. Great race. As always, Baker, we got a crazy finish. Not quite the one I was expecting tonight, but nonetheless, John Mullihan gets the job done. We'll be back, of course, next week. But before we head out tonight, any final thoughts?
Yeah, just another good race. I think is a good turning point for us. Everyone up there, 3 wide, 6, 7 rows deep. You want to see that coming to the line, but I can't ask for better racing at Daytona, like McCullough was saying. To be in this Xfinity car, holding it 3 wide, 6, 7 rows deep, it was very impressive.
Certainly was. And again, apologize for the earlier issue that we had with the internet, things that we're trying to get worked out to a degree. I cannot help it. However, certainly can try my best to get things to help prevent it. So nonetheless, hopefully we'll have that fixed by next week, but we appreciate everybody still tuning in, and we hope you did enjoy. And until next week, when we'll be back for more PGR, that'll be it for me, Austin Green, and Matthew Baker on PGR eSports. Have a good night. We'll see you next time.